Mark Goulston, Real Influence, Persuade without pushing and gain without giving in. Discover the true power of influence in Mark Goulston's Real Influence, Persuade without pushing and gain without giving in, and learn how to foster lasting relationships, create win-win outcomes, and avoid the pitfalls of selfish thinking. This summary will provide valuable insights on how to combat human instincts that hinder genuine influence, adopt new habits that command admiration and respect, and develop a deeper understanding of people's perspectives. Focus on key concepts such as the importance of results, reputation, and relationships, evading common traps of disconnect, and embracing empathy to gain influence.
Building lasting influence. Real influence requires hard work, perseverance, and awareness, but there are no shortcuts. To become persuasive, it is important to avoid the pitfalls of human nature, such as seeing things only from a selfish point of view and becoming defensive. Instead, interact through the lens of the other person's perspective. Building lasting influence means creating strong bonds that show others they are integral to your success, as well as their own. With diligent practice and incremental improvement, anyone can become influential regardless of wealth, status, or education. Connecting with people, a guide to effective influence. Influence is not about forcing people to do what you want, that only leads to resentment and poor outcomes for both parties. Instead, connect with them on a personal level by understanding their motivations and concerns. This approach applies whether you're motivating employees, selling a product, or campaigning for votes. To avoid the 4 common traps that can disconnect you from others, use the acronym PUSH. Don't push too hard with too much selling and too little listening. Don't be unwilling to consider anything but your own ideas and agenda. Don't seek quick, one-sided wins at the expense of long-term relationships and reputation building, and don't approach interactions with ego-driven combativeness. Learn to listen and understand others, and then communicate from their perspective. This will enable you to connect their needs with your goals. By following this approach, you'll be able to build meaningful relationships that result in mutually beneficial outcomes. Enhancing influence and empathy. Enhance your influence and empathy by following 4 simple steps that help you consider other people's worldviews and identify the root of disagreements. The 3 R's of success. When striving for success, it is crucial to consider the 3 R's: results, reputation, and relationships. The best results are achieved by understanding the motivations of all parties involved, aiming for the extraordinary, and inspiring others. Reputation is valuable currency, so always conduct yourself in a way that builds and protects it. Treat everyone well, prioritize relationships over transactions, and don't expect anything in return when doing good deeds for others. Remember, achieving results by self-serving means will ultimately damage your reputation and relationships, making it impossible to achieve lasting success. Embrace the power of influence. The book highlights the importance of being open to learning from others' perspectives without assuming you are always right. The author advocates for active listening, avoiding interruptions and distractions while paying attention to gestures, movements, expressions, and tones to get the full picture of what someone is trying to communicate. By being influenceable instead of insisting on being right, one can avoid making fatal mistakes and gain influence in return. It is important to focus on understanding others without any other agenda and asking questions to ensure full comprehension. Building influence through empathy. To exert real influence, you must exceed expectations and demonstrate empathy by understanding others' needs, fears, and priorities. This requires developing situational, personal, and solution awareness. High-level listening is the first step towards achieving this level of understanding. By putting yourself in another person's shoes and adopting their perspective, you gain their trust and willingness to listen. However, helping someone change requires jolting them out of their malaise carefully. The key is to use constructive provocation to push the right buttons and help them achieve their goals. Ultimately, influencing people to change their lives for the better boils down to empathy. Building unforgettable business relationships. To establish lasting work connections, it is not enough to be a good listener or meritorious creator of results. To make an impact, strive to go beyond expectations. Over-deliver, initiate connections, and create delightful surprises without expecting anything in return. To foster a strong work relationship, prioritize adding value over receiving credit. Always express gratitude right away and later by connecting people to others who can help them. Collaborate with others and welcome diverse ideas. The key is to let others be useful, and in turn, they will find you useful as well. Keys to gaining real influence. The path to gaining real influence lies in building meaningful relationships, experiencing challenges, and showing gratitude. Influence is gained by positively impacting others, not through bullying or manipulation. It requires taking full responsibility for mistakes and making amends. True influencers willingly pass on their mission to others, gaining even more influence in the process.
In conclusion, real influence teaches us the importance of avoiding selfish behaviors and embracing genuine, empathetic relationships in order to gain lasting influence. This can be achieved by focusing on win-win results, nurturing a solid reputation, and placing long-term relationships above short-term gains. Concentrate on being a good listener, putting yourself in other people's shoes to understand their perspectives, and building trust. Lastly, remember to express gratitude and be appreciative of all the good things in your life. By adopting these valuable lessons, you can become a truly influential person and positively impact the world around you.